All right, guys, so we got to talk about this alligator Alcatraz thing. As you know, it's just a concentration camp. That's what it is. It is a concentration camp. When you send people there with no due process whatsoever, you put a tent camp in the middle of a swamp in the middle of hurricane season in southern Florida, you are just begging for trouble. And the Miami Herald just reported that hundreds of people who have been sent there already, hundreds, no criminal record whatsoever. So they're doing here the exact same thing they did with CCOT, which is the concentration camp in El Salvador. They're doing here the same thing that they're in the process of doing with Guantanamo Bay. They are rounding up innocent people and sending them to what is effectively a concentration camp. So a bunch of updates to walk you through here. Let's start with this one. Here's Kristi Noem, and listen to what she says.
1,000-bed facility can continue to be expanded. We're looking at other locations as well. We've had several other states that are actually using Alligator Alcatraz as a model for how they can partner with us as well.
What are some of those? Are there other states?
I'm having ongoing conversations with 5 other governors about facilities that they may have. You know, I haven't asked those governors if I can share their names, but announcements will be coming soon. As you all know, we need to double our capacity in detention beds because we need to facilitate getting people out of this country as fast as possible and to sustain our operations. But those governors have been fantastic. I will tell you, they are all Republicans. So I would challenge some Democrats to start taking care of your states.
So I warned you this was going to happen, but now it's official. There are 5 more Alligator Alcatraz type facilities that are in the process of being built. 5 more. So they are expanding this project of throwing innocent people into concentration camps, and they're doing it all across the country. Let me give you this. So we have ICE raids in suburbia in West Jordan, Utah.
Jesus, what the fuck is happening?
This is ICE walking down my street. There's got to be 50 of them? What the fuck is going on here? Holy shit.
This person says, classic fascist regime blunder. You're not supposed to let the middle-class suburbanites witness the horror so close. More, detained immigrants at Alligator Alcatraz say there are worms in food and wastewater on the floor. At the brand new Everglades Immigration Detention Center that officials have dubbed Alligator Alcatraz, people held there say worms turned up in the food, toilets don't flush, flooding floors with fecal waste, and mosquitoes and other insects are everywhere. Inside the compound's large white tents, rows of bunk beds are surrounded by chain link cages. Detainees are said to go days without showering or getting prescription medicine, and they are only able to speak by phone to lawyers and loved ones. At times, the air conditioners abruptly shut off in the sweltering heat. Days after President Donald Trump toured it, attorneys, advocates, detainees, and their relatives are speaking out about the makeshift facility, which Republican Governor Ron DeSantis' administration raced to build on an isolated airstrip surrounded by swampland. So this is a catastrophe. This is a catastrophe what we're witnessing here. Completely and utterly un-American, completely and utterly unconstitutional. Florida is sending undocumented immigrants pulled over in traffic stops to the Everglades detention camp. But because the whole thing was set up haphazardly, they still don't have an easy way to find out if someone is detained there, like at any normal detention center or jail. This is a nightmare. They pull somebody over, send them to a concentration camp, and there's no paper trail of where they are. So their families have absolutely positively no idea where they are. I don't know if it doesn't get any darker than this, man. This is as dark as it gets. Breaking, judge rules that during its large-scale enforcement operation in L.A., the DHS and ICE has been arresting people without probable cause. Oh, you don't say. Based on factors like accent and line of work, she orders the agencies to stop. Yet again, let's see if this very basic ruling from the court is upheld. Because there is a track record of no, it is not being upheld. That the courts will say one thing and the administration will do another. The regime will flagrantly deny what the court has said and go in the opposite direction. All right, here's another. I'm going to give you a warning in advance before we watch this one. This is a horror story involving a disabled veteran who was kidnapped by ICE Gestapo thugs.
Just an extremely emotional scene here. The minute that we arrived outside Glass House Farms, we met a sister and a wife of a man who works as a security guard here, George Redis. He is a disabled U.S. veteran. He is a U.S. citizen, and they are desperately looking for him. They haven't heard anything about his whereabouts from yesterday. They do say that he was taken in the raid. We want to show you a picture of 25-year-old George Redis, a U.S. Army veteran who his family again says is disabled. They saw via Air 7 yesterday that he was trying to leave the scene in his white vehicle. Take a listen to what his sister and then his wife told us.
I thought he was probably part of the protest, and he wasn't. He was trying to reverse his car. They broke his window, they pepper sprayed him, they grabbed him, threw him on the floor, they detained him. His wife's been trying to call and ask where he is. They don't know where he is. Apparently, no one associates with nobody. So now we don't know what to do. We're just asking, let my brother go. He's a U.S. citizen. He didn't do anything wrong. He's a veteran, disabled citizen. It says it on his car.
And I just want to know where he's at because I have not seen him. And I heard from him since yesterday. And I called LA and they keep saying that they're not going over there. And I just don't know where he's at. I've been up since 6 a.m. trying to call the sheriffs, the police department, Oxnard, Camarillo, Ventura, and I can't hear nothing. They say they don't know, they don't associate.
And as you heard from George Redis's wife, it's his daughter's birthday party tomorrow. She is desperately looking for George. She says that she has called every local police department, the sheriff's department. They don't know where he is, and so that's why the family is camped out here right now trying to find answers.
It's just evil. If this guy's not safe, nobody's safe. He's a disabled veteran U.S. citizen, and he was kidnapped by ICE Gestapo thugs. Nobody knows where he is. Missed his kid's birthday. Nobody's safe. If this guy's not safe, nobody's safe. This is like it's like evil overtaking the country in real time. And there is no reckoning with the harm, the devastation, the damage that they're doing. Because in their mind, the regime goes, well, all these people we're doing this to are just bad people. Oh, a bunch of them the majority of them, 90% of them have no criminal record. We don't care. We don't care. Oh, a bunch of them are legal immigrants. We don't care. Oh, some of them are U.S. citizens. We don't care. Hundreds of innocent people already. You had some politicians go to Alcatraz, and there were a bunch of people screaming out, I'm a U.S. citizen. Here, let's watch some more.
People are literally being poisoned with Clorox in Alligator Alcatraz. I told y'all earlier that Democratic Representative Maxwell Frost was pulling up to Alligator Alcatraz to inspect the concentration camp that's there. Here's what they found.
You know, when I was in that facility looking at those cages, I saw young men who looked exactly like me. I saw myself in those cages.
Some of the people screaming. Another man screamed out that he was poisoned by Clorox in the water, and he was in the hospital for 4 days. There are really disturbing viral conditions. This place needs to be shut the hell down. While we were in there, at one point it was clocked at about 81 degrees in a particular spot. And I know for a fact if you continue to go in, it is even hotter.
Is there read a statement from the wife of a detainee regarding the scheduled tour from his pastor to me yesterday? His wife says they allowed him to take a shower and gave them new clothes, and the food all of a sudden is better. I wonder how long that's going to last after your visit.
And also, I want to point out that we don't need to debate the conditions. The fact is there are people there that most likely do not belong there.
Facts.
And that is enough.
As a member of the House Oversight Committee, I can tell you after this, I have many phone calls planned with my colleagues to talk about coming down here, possibly holding ad hoc hearings about this facility. And not just facility, this is indicative of a greater problem, too, across this country.
Right.
Dehumanizing immigrants, dehumanizing people who are in this country, who have been in this country, many of whom over a decade. So there will be hearings and there will be accountability on this at the federal level. And of course, I know our state partners are going to work on it as well.
Not to mention, Maxwell Frost was on a call with NABJ journalist Michael Jones, where he said detainees are being held 32 to a cage, drinking water from toilet spigots, and fed only a sandwich and chips. People were yelling, "Help me." One even shouted, "I'm a U.S. citizen." He also said that the staff blocked access to the medical unit and denied him contact with the detainees that were there. They're trying to hide the inhumane treatment of the people there. And here's the thing. If you think they're going to fucking stop at immigrants, like we've been fucking saying, you got some other shit coming. Because here comes Donald Trump saying the quiet part out loud. Because of the fact that Rosie O'Donnell, who by the way is a United States citizen, is not in the best interest of our great country, meaning she just fucking is critical of his ass because his ass is a fucking bitch. I'm giving serious consideration to taking away her citizenship. She is a threat to humanity and should remain in the wonderful country of Ireland if they want her. God bless America. Let's be clear. This is a fucking distraction for us to talk about this and how fucking crazy it is over the Epstein case, which motherfucker we not stopping to talk about. But best believe this is actually how he thinks. Anybody who disagrees with him, if you're a political dissident, if you are anti-MAGA, if you are critical of his administration, he wants to put you in alligator Alcatraz so you can be treated exactly, inhumanely, how they're treating those immigrants that are right there right now. And in some cases, they're actually U.S. citizens right now. Wake the fuck up.
I don't know how this doesn't wake people. Like, if you're not woken up by now, when are you going to wake up? When are you going to wake up? I mean, the media should be screaming at the top of their lungs. The Democrats should be screaming at the top of their lungs. But there's almost like this passive acceptance of this new concentration camp system where innocent people are being rounded up and thrown in there with no concern for them whatsoever. Terribly inhumane conditions. Courts being ignored. Like, that could literally be any one of us. And I don't think people have truly, truly grasped that point. That could actually be any one of us at any time. So wake up, because more than being created, the conditions of the one that are already up and running are horrific. As I said, Miami Herald reported hundreds of U.S. citizens there. 92% of the people ICE go after, no criminal record whatsoever. This is the time for a serious awakening and backlash in this country. I also have this one for you. ICE plans to deport migrants to countries where they are not citizens and do not speak the language with as little as 6 hours notice. Wow. So again, this is something that, a decade ago, nobody would even think of, right? Like, this wouldn't even come up. This level of cruelty and inhumanity wouldn't pass your mind. You wouldn't think this is a thing. You wouldn't think this is an option on the menu. But now, it's, maybe we'll send you to a country that you've never been before, ever. Don't speak the language, and we'll do it within 6 hours. And you won't be able to talk to your family. You won't be able to talk to a lawyer. You'll be completely and utterly on your own. Maybe we'll do that. Like I said, this is the fact that this is not the main thing everybody's talking about is despicable and disturbing and disgusting. Because all those people being treated like this, that could literally be any one of us. And it is. At this point, it is. They're going after U.S. citizens. They're going after legal immigrants. They're going after undocumented immigrants who are not criminals. And they're not going to stop. They're only going to ramp it up. And like Brian Baez said, if you think it's going to stop where it has already, you got another thing coming. Harsh critics, for sure. ICE can go after harsh critics. And how can you clear your name? If there's no hearing, there's no habeas corpus, there's no due process. They're wearing masks when they arrest you. They've basically set up a system where there's zero accountability, zero justice, zero consequences, zero legal process where there's oversight, where there's checks and balances. You're at the whim of a fascist regime. And that's where we are. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You want to.